friends. In previous few lectures of professional practices course, we have discussed about what is estimation, what are good qualities of estimator, what is the role of estimator, valuation, etc. Now, in this lecture, we are going to discuss about the terminologies used in estimation and valuation. Myself, R.V. Zugdar, Assistant Professor in Civil Engineering Department, Sharad Institute of Technology, College of Engineering. Now, as discussed earlier, what is estimate? Estimate for any construction work may be defined as the process of calculating the quantities and cost of various items required in connection with the work. It is prepared by calculating the quantities for the dimension on the drawings for various items required to complete the project and multiplied by unit cost of the item concerned. Need for estimation. The estimation is needed for ascertain the necessary amount of money required by the owner to complete the proposed work. Means it is required for making funds or provision of funds before starting of work. Requirements of controlled materials such as cement and steel can be estimated for making application to the controlling authorities to access the requirements of tools, plants and equipments required to complete the work according to the program. It is needed to fix up the completion period from the volume of works involved in the estimation. It is required to draw up the construction schedule and program and also arrange the funds required according to the programming. To invite tenders and prepare bills for the payments, the estimation is most important and plays very vital role. An estimate for an existing property is required for valuation. Means estimation is done before execution of work or before commencement of work, and if it is after completion of work or for existing building, it is called as valuation. Data required for estimation. To prepare an estimate, drawing consisting of the plan, elevation, and the section through important points, along with detailed specification, giving specific description of all workmanship, properties, and proportion of material are required. Quality of good estimator. In preparing an estimate, the estimator must have good knowledge regarding the important rules of quantity surveying. He must thoroughly understand the drawings of the structure for which he is going to prepare an estimate. He must also be clearly informed about the specification showing nature and classes of works and materials to be used, because the rates at which various types of works can be executed depends upon its specification. Knowledge of details of construction work is necessary for estimator. He should have experience in construction work. Having information regarding the materials required, machinery needed, overhead problems, and cost of all kinds of things. The estimator should have good judgment with regard of different localities, different jobs, and different workmen. He should have good selection of good method for preparing an estimate. The good estimator should have ability to be careful through hard working and accurate. Before preparing the estimate, the estimator should visit the site and make a study of conditions there. For example, if the construction of large building is planned, the estimator or his representative should visit the site and note the location of proposed building. Get all data available regarding the soil. Make a sketch of the site showing all important details. He should obtain information concerning light, power, and water at the site. He must secure information concerning banking facilities for project completion. He must have knowledge of note down conditions of street leading to railway yards and material dealers, etc. And he have to investigate general efficiency of local manpower or workmen and availability of workmen and material. There are various types of estimate as we have discussed earlier, like detailed estimate, a preliminary or approximate or rough estimate, a quantity estimate, a revised estimate, and supplementary estimate. Detailed estimate. This includes the detailed particulars for quantities, rates, and cost of all the items involved for satisfactory completion of the project. Quantities of all items of work are calculated from their respective dimensions on the drawing on a measurement sheet, multiplying these quantities by their respective rates in the separate sheet. The cost of all items of work are worked out individually and summarized in it. All other expenses required for satisfactory completion of the project are added to the above cost to frame the total of detailed estimate. This is the best and most accurate estimate that can be prepared. A detailed estimate is accompanied by a report specification, detailed drawing showing plants, different section, key plans, basis of rates. Preliminary estimate. This is an approximate estimate to find out an approximate cost in a short time and thus enables the authority concerned to consider the financial aspect of the scheme. Quantity estimate. This is complete estimate or list of quantities for all items of work required to complete the concerned project. The quantity of each individual item of work is worked out from respective dimension on the drawings of the structure. Revised estimate. A revised estimate is a detailed estimate for the revised quantities and rates of items of works originally provided in the estimate without material deviation of structural nature from the design originally approved for a project. It is accompanied with comparative statement abstract form showing the probable variation for quantities, rate, and amount for each item of work of the project as compared with the original estimate side by side, stating the reason of variation. It is required for the following reasons. When a sanctioned estimate is likely to exceed by more than 5%, either from the rates being found insufficient, when expenditure of work exceed or is likely to exceed by more than 10% of the administrative approval, when it is found that sanctioned estimate is more than The actual requirement. A supplementary estimate. While work is in progress, some changes or additional works due to material deviation of structural nature from the design originally approved may be thought necessary for the development of a project. An estimate is then prepared to include all such works in it. How to prepare detailed estimate? In this method, the rates per unit work of one item, including profit, are considered first, and the total cost of the item is found by multiplying the cost per unit of the rate by the number of units. For this, the rate analysis is used. The procedure for the preparation of detailed estimate is divided into two parts. First is detailed measurement and abstract of estimated cost. Measurement form. The details of measurements of each item of work are taken out, and quantity of each and every item is computed in a prescribed form known as measurement form as under. This is format showing measurement form in which item number, description, number of units, length, breadth, height, quantity, total quantity and remark columns are there. Abstract or cost form. The cost under each item of the work is determined from the quantities and total cost of work out in the prescribed form called as abstract sheet or abstract form or cost form, or it is called as bill of quantities. This format shows the cost form or abstract form or bill of quantities, which is made up of columns item number, description, quantity, unit of payment, rate per unit, and amount. There are various terms used for estimation as well as for valuation purpose, and which are important in case of there is change in cost of project. The first term used is contingencies. The term contingencies indicates the incidental expenses of the miscellaneous character which can be reasonably predicted during preparation of the estimate, and to meet such unforeseen expenses an additional amount of 3% to 5% of estimated cost of work is provided in the total estimate. Means during working there may be some issues which will increase the total cost of project and which will hamper the cost of estimated cost of project, for which we have to be prepared, and for that we will consider 3 to 5% additional funds for completion of activity. For example, suppose there is an item in an estimate for cement plastering 1 to 4 with neat cement finish, but during execution it is desired to provide nosing at the end of steps. As there is no allocation of funds for this small work, the cost of such work may be made up from the contingencies funds. Means it may include the change in material, the change in workmanship, or any other type of problems or additional work in project. Lump sum items. This is item of work which is very difficult to measure or assess during its execution, and a lump sum rate is provided in the estimate. The work of site cleaning, dewatering from the small diameter tube well till sand free water is obtained. Removing roots of tree, etc. are the lump sum items. The next term used for estimation is prime cost. It is the net cost or the purchase cost of article at shop and refers to supply of the article only and not to the carrying out of work. During preparation of an estimate, it is not always possible to specify the exact type of brands materials required as in the case of doors and windows or water supply and sanitary fittings according to the choice of owner. The owner may supply such articles or may instruct a contractor to purchase such articles for the work. The fittings and fixing charges are paid separately. In order to execute such items of work, a reasonable amount is provided in the estimate as prime cost. Day work. During execution of project, there may be certain type of work which are not included in the schedule and cannot be paid by measurement. Those are paid for on the basis of the actual quantity of materials and labor hours required to complete the work is called as day work or hours work. The next term is used for estimation is provisional sum. It is an amount arbitrarily provided by an experienced estimator in the total estimated cost of project to carry out some special type of work whose detail cannot be known at the time of estimate. Such special work as installation of lifts, shifting of water lines, sewer lines, cable connections, etc., or service provision for which full information may not known at the time of preparing estimate, a reasonable amount is provided or kept aside in the estimate as provisional sum. The next term which is most important is provisional quantities. These are the additional quantities against scheduled items but uncertain in execution and provided separately in the estimate. During preparation of an estimate, when it is apparent that additional quantities against some item may be required due to variation of site condition, then those quantities are estimated separately from the dimension of the drawing and kept separate in the bill of quantities with a heading provisional quantities. The next term used is overhead charges. This includes such items as office rent, stationery, and depreciation of equipment, salaries of staff, electric bills, traveling, etc. It includes in the overhead charges. This is usually 2.5% of the net cost of unit of rate and may rise up to 5% as per the facilities provided. Now, in this session, we have discussed about various terminologies which are not directly included in estimate due to some reason but are necessary to provide funds for avoiding some problems or uncertainty in project completion. Thank you.